Hi, Jesse from etrailer. Today I'll be helping you assemble your RockyMounts MonoRail bike rack. If you're looking for a more in-depth view of the bike rack itself, or maybe how it fits on your particular car, feel free to check out our various other videos here at etrailer. But today we're just going to focus on assembling the rack. This is how your rack will arrive. I'll get everything unboxed and set the parts aside. Before we begin assembly, I'll run through the parts real quick, beginning with the two wheel trays, our base, our front and rear wheel cups, the back stops, and the wheel hooks. Now for the hardware, we have our cable lock, our wheel straps and wheel strap extensions, 2 bolts with washers, 2 bolts without washers, our stamped wrench, 2 Allen key wrenches, which one is 4mm, the other is 5mm. We have our load arm end caps. These have the bolts pre-installed. Then we have our 4 screws, our 2 lock pods with keys, our hitch pin, and then we have 8 of our smaller bolts with lock washers and washers installed. The first step of our assembly will be to install our base here into the receiver of our vehicle. So we'll just take it with the angle going up, slide right in there. Then we'll take our hitch pin, make sure you still have the washers installed. Get that hole lined up and start threading it in. Once we get it threaded all the way, we'll take our included stamped wrench, or if you have your own socket and ratchet set, it's going to be a 19mm. And we'll just tighten that down. Now we might as well install our lock pod while we're here. Just make sure that it's unlocked, slide it on, lock it, and remove the key. For the next step, we'll need our base to be in this position. If your base is in the upright position, you'll just need to lift up on the blue T-handle, lower it down until you hear it click into place, and now we're ready to grab our wheel trays. Each of our trays on the bottom side has a bolt with a sticker next to it that says remove bolt before assembly. So I'll just remove that and set it aside, because we have 4 bolts for each tray with the included washer and lock washer. Now we'll take our wheel tray. As you see, we have 4 nuts or weld nuts in there and 4 slots. So those are just going to line up with each other. And for now, we're going to get our hardware just loosely installed. Also, you want this arm to be facing out from the vehicle. So we'll just get each one started underneath and then work on the other wheel tray. As I said, these are slotted, so once we get our bikes on here, that means we have a lot of adjustment, but for now we're just going to snug all of them down using the included Allen wrench. We'll just go through all 8 of them. Make sure they're nice and tight and they're not going to move. Now we're ready to install our hooks. We'll just want to make sure that our blue trigger is facing up, and when we slide it on, we want our hook to be over our platform here. So I'll just Same process with this one. For our end caps, our hardware is already installed, so we'll just need to remove that for now. We're using the 4mm Allen wrench for these. Once we have those removed, this will just slide into the end here. Need to put a little muscle behind it to get that to slide in. And then we'll reinstall those bolts in the same spot that we took them out of. We'll install our front wheel cups. They're going to install this way with the flat end towards the inside. And you'll see two holes here. Those are going to correspond with those two screw holes there. So it should just slide on top. Then we'll take our coarser thread pitch screws and our 5mm Allen wrench and tighten those from the bottom. These are screws going into plastic, so there's not really any threads there. You kind of have to force it to start. And once we get these tightened down, we'll repeat that process with the other tray. So just have to get that in place. Try to get everything lined up. Slide the bolt through the end without the nuts. Once you feel it go through the other side of the frame, you can start threading into the nut. And for the backstops, we are using the shorter of the long bolts, these ones here that came without the washer installed, and the 5mm Allen wrench. Once you get everything lined up, you can start tightening it down with the Allen wrench. And we'll get that pretty snug, but you do want to be able to move this. So the nut on the other side is a plastic lock nut, so you don't have to tighten it too tight, and it will stay in place. We're ready to install our rear wheel cups. We'll just want to make sure that this buckle is facing away from the vehicle. So we'll grab this cup and our strap. We're going to run our bolt through that hole in the strap, and that's going to hold it in place. We're taking our longer bolts with the washer. Get that strap all lined up, and then slide the bolt through that hole on this side. And just like the other ones, we'll have to get everything lined up and then start threading it on. One thing to mention while we're tightening it down is you want to make sure that your strap is in the channel here that it's supposed to be in and not hanging down. That way our strap is going to come straight across and tighten down well onto our wheel. So I'll get this side tightened down, and then we'll repeat that process with the other side. Now we've got the rack assembled. You just need to throw your bike on there, do any adjustments that you may need to make. If you're looking for a more in-depth view of this bike rack, or maybe even how it fits on your particular vehicle, check out some of the other videos we have here at eTrailer. Other than that, that's going to do it for our assembly of the RockyMounts MonoRail platform hitch rack. I'm Jesse. Enjoy the ride.